Hey gems, today I'm gonna tell you the story of how I got a hysterectomy and almost lost my booty hole. Let's get into it. Hey gems, it's your girl MissJemima, and we are back at it again with another mother freaking video. But today's video is a bit different, darling. Today's video is going to give you a little insight into a very personal situation that I went through about 1.5 years ago. Is it 1.5 years? No, almost 3 years. Hold on, wait a minute. When did this happen? Gosh, it feels like it was yesterday, but also feels like it was light years ago. Maybe, oh, what a thing to go through. So I don't know if y'all noticed, for all the gems that are out there that's been with me for some time, y'all haven't heard me complain about a period. Y'all haven't heard me complain about cramps. Y'all haven't heard me complain about not being able to work because I'm in so much pain. Y'all haven't heard a peep. And that is because I got a hysterectomy back in February of 2024. So I just want to say that this video is purely my word vomiting about my sentiments about pregnancy, my fears around it, all the things. But I think that it can be incredibly insensitive to women that absolutely want children and are struggling or having difficulty having children. And I do apologize because I was rambling off at the mouth in this video. And I think it's incredibly nasty work that there are women like me who just do not want children, while there are others who are just grappling with the idea that they are struggling or that they cannot have children themselves. And I think it's incredibly nasty that one can have this ability and one does not. And my heart goes out to these women, because it's one thing to have a choice in a matter. It's another thing to not have that choice. I do feel that if it was taken away from me, like I simply could not have children, I would probably feel different about it than me making the decision to not have children. Because even though the outcome is the same, there's something to be said about not having the choice. Choice really does matter. And so if this video is incredibly insensitive to anyone, I do apologize. When I say I apologize, like I'm so sorry. This is a very self-centered, inconsiderate video. I understand that. And if it's hard to watch, I completely understand. Go ahead and click out, sis. But just want to give that disclaimer that I'm sure it's coming across as insensitive for a lot of mothers. And I'm truly apologetic, or just women that want to be mothers, because that is a very, very difficult thing to go through. And I've seen it firsthand, like heart shattering. And when I say my heart goes out, my heart truly goes out. So if this video is a hard watch, child, please don't even watch it. I completely understand. But just wanted to make that disclaimer. It was a birthday gift to myself. I am a February baby, and I wanted change. I wanted something different. I wanted to celebrate me. While I went through this experience, I wasn't sure what I was going to share or if I was going to share, though along the way I did document a little bit of the process, and I'm glad that I did, because you guys know my brain ain't the best. So to have those memories locked in through those videos, it was certainly a situation. Every time I say like this, my back hurts. Let me get comfy. Number one, I don't want kids. Okay, that's number one. That's something I went back and forth about. I would say it's mainly towards the mid-20s and onward. When I was younger, I always kind of assumed that I would have children because that's typically the norm. And honestly, if I had children younger, I probably would have been And I went back and forth about it, because as I got older, that's when I realized that more and more I didn't love the idea of motherhood. I didn't love the idea of parenthood. And it got to a point where I said, what do I want for me? Like truly for me, not because of a man, not for a partnership, not for, you know, doing my dues as a potential future wife or partner. What do I actually want for me in my life right now? And nowhere in that did I want to run around after children. Now, I love children, don't get me wrong. Auntie Mima, I'm not even saying that because I don't want nobody starting to call me Mima, respectfully. But like, it's very much giving Auntie, TT, Tati, my son, you know, I'm here for it, okay? I'm here for that role. But beyond that, I don't think I had the capacity to do it the way I would want to do it. And if I was to do it, like, I think I would be a great mother. It's not about that at all. Like, I really feel like I would probably do the most. Like, baby, I'm over here making baby food from scratch and freezing it. You know, organic this and that, and making sure they're in, like, I would probably be extra. And I know that I would lose a great deal of myself into motherhood, pouring into children. And I don't want to. When I think of my dream life, that is not what I think of. And I think it's very possible to love children, to love your children, but not necessarily love motherhood or parenthood. And I knew it was real when I said, you know what? It's not that I don't want kids at all. I love the idea of a mini me running around. I love the idea of having a daughter. Like, I feel like that's so cute, but that's issue number one. So cute. Like, girl, this is not an accessory. And I said I was willing to have a child if I could be the father. I was willing to have a child if I could just like come in, play a little bit, give the baby back, and do me. Like, it wouldn't completely alter my day-to-day life. And once I realized that, truly, honestly, truly, I said, oh, girl, this is not for you. This is not for you. First of all, it's very difficult to find men that are active fathers in a partnership. Okay, how are you gonna find someone that's gonna take on most of the responsibility and just let you play every now and then go about your life? Not to say it don't happen. Shout out to the girls that do have it, but I said for me to have children, that's the case it would be in. And then I'd have to buy them. I have zero desire to be pregnant. I think pregnancy is a nightmare. I think pregnancy is ghetto. I think that it's one of the worst afflictions that can happen to women. And shout out to women who don't have terrible pregnancies, but the ones that do, I see you, I feel you, and I'm so sorry. But I'm so glad that you had that bundle of joy at the end of that. I personally do not want to go through it. Never did, never have. I never want to. And so I said, even if I do change my mind and want a kid later, I'm gonna buy one. Yeah. I'm gonna buy one. I thought about freezing my eggs in case I change my mind, but realistically, am I going to change my mind? No. And it's like, do you want children or do you like the idea of a little thing running around with your face on it? Children are not accessories. And every time I'm like, oh, maybe, it was always because the idea of a little me sounded so cute and adorable. But that is not the reality of raising children. You might luck out and have a very easy-natured, very easy-temperamented child, but there's no guarantee. And if you're not able to handle all the aspects that can come with potential parenthood, then you should reconsider. Okay, editing Jemima here. And I'm going to touch on this because I have spoken about this on my channel before, but I go on and on about not wanting children, but there's another half of me that, one, has always wanted to be a foster parent, and two, always thought that I would make a fantastic stepmother. And this could be because of my childhood and not feeling loved. And, you know, not having the best stepmother experience. And by not having the best, I mean, it was terrible, do not recommend. But for me, I mean, as a foster parent, of course, that's temporary. But even that's nasty because I feel like you take these children and you love on them and then they're gone. But like as a step parent, I feel like you love them like they're your own. And whether or not you stay with that person, I feel like the children should always be a part of your life. Like, so I never really understood what that was about for me. And to this day, I still don't understand because I'm terrified about having my own, but I totally embrace the idea of loving someone else's children. So that's weird to me. I don't know what that's about, to be honest. But I said, let me throw that in there because, yeah, I don't understand myself. I don't. Child, Lord, send help. And that's exactly what I did. But by the time I had the surgery, I was pretty much, child, I knew it wasn't happening for me. I knew it wasn't it. And I was very vocal about that from the moment I stepped foot into my new OBGYN. I was back in Atlanta at that time, and people were always like, oh my God, they let you do that? They let you do that? And I'm like, yeah. One, I was already in my 30s. And two, I was very vocal about not wanting children. Like, there was never any doubt from anyone in there that I interacted with about whether or not I wanted children. And mind you, they you know, are you sure? Do you want to talk about it? Da, da, da. No, I'm good, love, and joy, okay? But honestly, what really sealed the deal for me in not having children was that my quality of life was so piss poor with the way that my period was set up. Like, my periods would take me out for a full week and I would be in so much pain. I would not be able to work. I wouldn't be able to socialize. I was overdosing on ibuprofen every month. Like, it was a hot mess. It was so painful. And one day I was like, you going back and forth about being a parent, how could you possibly parent in these conditions? You have raging cramps, you're nauseous, about to throw up, you can't stand, you're writhing all over the floor, and you have a kid telling my mommy, I want a snack. Be so for real. There is no way that you can parent like this. And then I was exhausted. The anemia was taking me out. I was losing so much blood every month. Child, there was just no way that I could be a good parent the way I would want to be while dealing with periods that intense. And so finding out that all my reproductive system was a shit show, child. I'm talking about fibroids, polyps, this, that. Like, it was just a hot mess. I'm like, why do I have this? Why do I have this? Yo, I used to hate being a woman. I was just like, why was I born like this? Why are these the things that we have to deal with simply because we're women? Like, that's so nasty to me. And I hated being a woman. And it wasn't that I wanted to be a man. Nothing about a man looks appealing either, but like, I just hated what women went through. And so I finally decided, what the heck? I don't want children. And even if I wanted to, I can't have kids like this. Why am I suffering every month? So I said, you know what? Let's get rid of it. Let's just scoop the whole thing out, throw it away, because I'm over it. I had planned my trip to Trinidad for Carnival, and then I had scheduled my surgery for right after that. But even in my Trinidad video, if you guys noticed, I didn't play mass. I had paid what, $1,000, if not more, for a costume to go to Trinidad and could not play mass. Who goes to Trinidad and buys a costume just to never wear it? Got it altered and everything, and could not wear it. Why? Because I had my period. When I tell you, I was literally losing chunks of my life, money down the drain, time down the drain, my life down the drain. It was a nightmare. Baby, the way, let me not get too graphic, but some of my friends saw pictures, like the things that was coming up out of me, diabolical, okay? And I think one of the biggest mistakes that I made was trying birth control to see if I could tame the period. That just made everything worse, okay? That sent the hormones in a rage, okay? And my cycle went next, man. When I tell you haywire, like I said, I don't want to get too nitty gritty, but baby, it was a mess and a half. I remember telling my friend about it at the time, and she was like, girl, you got a great uterus. You got a great uterus. Your uterus just got things coming up out of it. I'm talking about, sis, like, if it was a thing to have, I had it, okay? So that was why I made the decision to go ahead with the hysterectomy. And that's probably why they didn't give me that much pushback also. Like, I had the age, clearly the unwillingness to have children. And then also they saw that I had a great uterus, okay? So they're just like, well, are you sure? Okay, then, well, let's put it on the books. And period, I like that, okay? Because the amount of women that say that their doctor straight up said no is actually insane to me. What do you mean they just said no? Now, do I agree that there should be back and forth about it? Because of course, once you do it, you can't undo it. And I feel like that's a different level of grief that you might be dealing with, that you probably just want to wait before you deal with something like that. But to say no, just flat out, is crazy to me. So while I absolutely loved the decision to have the hysterectomy, the actual process in itself was terrible. It was, like I said, I had this surgery back when I was living in Atlanta. Atlanta is known for having trash health, anything. And it was just a nightmare through and through and through, okay? So I do have clips from that time. I'm going to insert them so that you guys can get a better gist of what I was going through at that moment. But I will say I out of it a little bit. I was super emotional. I was just very overwhelmed at the time. So I feel like I probably didn't explain things the best, but for the most part, you'll get a sense of what I was going through, what I was dealing with. But it was just the medical professionals that I encountered along the journey were piss poor. And when you're fat and you're black on top of it, like, the way that no one takes you seriously, no one takes your pain seriously, no one takes your issues seriously. They look at you and it's almost like they feel like you deserve everything negative that happens to you. You deserve everything medical wise that happens to you, because like you essentially, you did this to yourself. Your life is not valued. You are not valued. They do not care to do anything to help you in any way. And it was incredibly nasty. The way they responded, the way they interacted, the way they gaslit me throughout the entire experience was nasty. So the first phase of this, saying like this is nasty, let me be a lady. So the first phase was the surgery. I met with my surgeon. She basically told me, hey, we're gonna do a laparoscopic surgery for you. Go in with the robot, do the things, and then you'll go home the same day, next day, something like that, whatever. I said, oh, okay, cool. I guess, sure. That's what it is. That's what it is. I talked to friends after that. I talked to associates, acquaintances, and people are telling me that they did not necessarily have the best experiences with that particular procedure. They did have hysterectomies, but a lot of people I know have had myomectomies because of fibroids and all that. It's very prevalent in the Black community. And yeah, I've heard of women having the laparoscopic treatment and then having to go back in surgically after because everything was then removed. Like, it was just a whole lot of going on. And I said, why are we doing that when we can do it another way for sure and get it all done? Like, of course, the healing time is gonna be longer, but I'd rather just get it done that way and know it's done than try it this way and have other issues potentially come up and then try to fix them afterwards. Like, it just sounds like a necessary risk that could potentially happen. And for me, they did not outweigh the potential benefits. So I ended up calling the surgeon, letting her know that I, in fact, changed my mind. I could tell from her voice that she was kind of like, I don't know why you're doing that, but whatever. Literally, that was the attitude that I was giving from, like, oh, okay, fine. So we do that, and I'm thinking everything is fine and dandy. Come day of surgery, I'm nervous as hell, anxiety through the roof. I'm trying to be chill. My friends had created a rotation, a schedule to come visit me and take care of me while I was down and out. And the first person that was Kim. So Kim went through the surgery with me, and it first of all, it went downhill with the IV. It was my first time getting an IV line inserted, and I didn't know it was gonna hurt that much. That hole hurts. Everything they did hurt, and I was like, damn, nobody told me this. Nobody told me this. You know, I'm waiting for the next step after they you know, set me up for the procedure, and the surgeon comes in and she's essentially berating me for my decision to opt for the abdominal incision as opposed to the laparoscopic surgery. She is like literally going in on me. And I'm so confused because, one, if you felt all this about the abdominal surgery, why did you not relay this to me when I told you I wanted to switch? I had you on the phone, we were talking. I felt like she was probably in the hospital somewhere or something. But if I'm telling you I want to change my surgery, if you can't give me that time and attention to get into the nitty-gritty of it right then and there, then say, hey, you know what? I'm in the middle of something right now and I really like to discuss this further with you. Give me a call back at a later date so we can really go over it, so we can make sure we come to a good decision that works for you and, you know, for her, I guess, because apparently what she wanted mattered. She did none of that. But on the day of surgery, you want to berate me. Mind you, tension is already high. Pressure is already getting worse. And you choose now to try and make me feel like trash for my decision? Oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you do this? Why'd you pick that? Oh, it's going to be longer healing time. Oh, we might have to cut you open anyways and do it this way and that way. Excuse me? Why is this the first time hearing about it? Mind you, when I spoke to her with the initial consultation, she didn't tell me that I had options, different surgical options. She just said, hey, you're getting a robot done. And that's that. I said, okay, you're the doctor. I don't know. I didn't go to school for this, aside from Grey's Anatomy University. So if you tell me that's what it is, then I'm assuming that's what it is. And you're going to see that that is a pattern throughout this entire experience. That one, they will not give you all the details. And two, they will try to manipulate you with scare tactics to make you do what they want and not necessarily what's best for the situation. And you'll see. Oh, that's what really irked me and grinded my gears. So this has not been the most positive experience so far. And I'm just about fed up with my surgeon. Because she trying me. She trying me. When I first went to the appointment, she basically just told me what was happening. And I was going to have the robotic, laparoscopic, whatever surgery, hysterectomy. It was a quick session with her, in and out. And she didn't really go into too much detail. Basically just told me what was staying, what was going, da-da-da. Asked me if I had any questions. At that time, I didn't really have too many questions. It wasn't until I went home. I don't think I went home yet. I was on the phone in the car with my friend. And we started talking because a lot of my friends have had some kind of procedure on their uterus or whatever. I'm the one that's getting a hysterectomy, but a lot of them have like myomectomies and things like that. And a lot of people have had issues and complications with the robotic procedure. So I took that into account. I started taking some other things into account regarding me personally and how I know I am. Like, I'm not great with taking pills. You guys know that already. Well, people that watch my vlogs consistently. I'm not great at taking pills. And then I know from what I've seen, because I did research, I watched vlogs, and I wanted to actually like watch people and experience, and not just, you know, go by the few that I know, but like other people on YouTube and stuff. A lot of people were saying that day 3 was like the worst. So I knew that I wanted to continue to receive IV medication at least past day 3. And with the robotic procedure, you go in, you get the procedure done, you go home same day. I didn't want that. So basically when I made my pros and cons list, I decided to go with the abdominal incision. So mind you, I'd already made plans for the robotic procedure. I called, they finally called me back. I spoke to the surgery coordinator, and then she transferred me to the surgeon. I think she was at the hospital or something, because I can tell I was on speaker. She was already doing something. And she was kind of like, you know, why do you want to do that? Which of course I understand. And I explained to her that one, she told me that even with the robotic, there's a chance that they might have to make that C-section incision anyways. So I said that the fact that that's already a chance, the fact that, and I'm going by the experiences of Black women, because we all know that Black women are disproportionately affected when it comes to anything medical, okay, especially when it comes to the reproductive system. And a lot of the Black women I know had issues when they had robotic procedures done. And I wanted to make sure that I did what I could to make it as smooth sailing as possible, even if it wasn't the most convenient way. So that, and then wanting to be on IV medication so that I'm controlled and monitored, wanting to stay within the vicinity of nurses and other medical professionals in case something goes wrong, I can get help immediately. I just wanted to be safe than sorry, even if it wasn't the most convenient method. And she was just like, okay. Like, I knew she was like, why would you want to do that? And I get that. That's fine. So conversation ended there. She was just like, okay, like, we'll schedule you, da-da-da. The surgical coordinator got me together. That is the last time I speak to this woman, okay? The first time I spoke to her, we had a quick in-office situation where she basically was like, this is what's happening. I go home, I do my research, I get more people, stories from people that actually went through it. I then call her, change the surgery, and then we proceed. So I have my pre-op appointment. I'm speaking to that medical professional, and she's telling me, you know, what my options are, because once again, every step of the way I'm explaining to people, I do not drink pills, especially when they're big, especially if they're not coated. Like, it's an issue. It's always been an issue. It's one of the reasons why I started taking my health seriously, because I literally cannot afford to be sick, because I would die, because I cannot take pills. So I explained this to her, and she's like, well, you know, they have liquid narcotics, like they'll be able to do things to help manage, da da da. I said, oh, that's a possibility? Great, love that. Immediately eases my worries, because I know that there are options to where that I can manage the pain adequately. She tells me, you know, I'll receive this, this, and this. The hospital give me a binder, da da da. Great. Come day of surgery, they bring me back to prep me. I'm here with Kim. Well, day of surgery, that's today. I'm here with Kim, and everything's going great. The nurse that was in charge of me, he was great. The nurse that assisted me with the IV, she was great. Anesthesia, everybody was great. She comes in, and immediately her attitude is just like I don't know why, like, you want to do the robotic, like, da-da-da, the healing time is better than this, and all valid points. But then she's like, well, it's not like you can change it anyways. So I'm already here nervous as hell. Nobody warns you that the IVs hurt. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like, you know, like blood drawing. That jaw hurt, okay? They just gave me a heparin shot. That stung. Oh my gosh. And then here you come in on some, like, I don't know why you're doing this, da-da-da. Like, this is not the best option for you. Because she was like, oh, well, I just wanted to let you know there's a possibility that we might have to do a vertical incision as opposed to horizontal, depending on how big your uterus is. Then she tries to go to the computer to see or look up how big my uterus is. Mind you, my uterus isn't big. And from what I was told, the biggest fibroid was, I think it was 5 centimeters, which, you know, is sizable, but it's not the biggest in the world. Up to that point, everything she said was optimistic, like, oh, your uterus is movable or whatever. Like, it's basically optimistic. Not all of a sudden this morning, oh, well, your uterus is big. We might have to do a vertical thingy. And mind you, I understand the words that she's saying. Like, if that's the case, that's the case. But one, you're telling me that we had this conversation. We did not. You never told me that there was a possibility for a vertical incision, because that would have been a big factor in my decision to go with the abdominal cut. And she's like, oh yeah, well, you know, your uterus is big, and no, you remember that my uterus is big from the appointment we had 4 weeks ago, where you sat down in front of me for 5 minutes, and we had this detailed conversation that you're alluding to, not that you're alluding to, that you said that we had when you were on phone on the speaker for 2.5 minutes. So anyways, that pissed me off, because now you're making me more anxious. Now I'm just like, she's like saying it, like almost shading me for the decision I made, and then like just stopped and stared at me as if okay, so like, should I change my mind? Like, what should I do? It's just like, well, it's not like you can change it anyway. So why are you coming in with this energy right before my surgery? Because now I'm stressed out about it, to a point where we get to the operation table, and I'm like, can you call her and double check to make sure that there's no way I could switch to surgery? Because now I'm like, what the freak? Because I didn't know that there was a possibility that you might do a vertical incision. I didn't plan for that. And I'm vain. I don't want a scar that goes vertically. Okay, like I said, that would have been a big factor in my decision. And she's like, oh, no, you can't change. So, like, why you keep bringing it up? And then after the surgery's over, she goes to Kim to, let her know what happened. And Kim asked her, like, did you have to do a vertical cut, whatever? Then she brings up, though, well, I don't know why she wanted to do that anyways, but no, we did a horizontal, whatever. Like, you keep bringing up this other method for the surgery for no reason. Like, it's like you keep constantly shaming me about my decision. Like, one, when I had the first appointment with you, you didn't even tell me what all the different options were. You didn't go into detail. You didn't say that this is why you picked that surgery. You just said, oh, this is what's happening. I'm not a doctor. I don't do this. So if you tell me something, then it is what it is. It was to the point where I was questioning, like, the way you keep pushing it, it's almost like, can you not do it the regular way? Do you have to do it robotically? So I asked a nurse that I was with what his thoughts were on her, and, he was like, from what he's gathered, she is a competent doctor. And he was like, maybe, sometimes on surgery days, doctors go into surgeon mode and may not necessarily have like the best bedside manner, but it was just like she was like coming for me for my decision. And it would make more sense if there was a chance to switch, but there was no chance to do that. So like, you keep harping on me about this damn robotic hysterectomy that you can't even do now anyway, so why you keep shitting on me? And so already that set the tone for the day for my surgery. And it's just other little shit that keeps happening. Like, it's like the departments are not in sync. Like, I was told I was gonna get a binder. I didn't get a binder downstairs. I mean, I thought my recovery session went okay. My surgery, I was told that I got there at 12 from the nurse. I was in recovery, and I was waiting there for hours before they can finally get me a room. I wasn't able to come up to this room until like 5 or 6. And those are the point where they're telling Kim, like, okay, so, you might have to start looking at hotel options. Because if I have to stay in recovery, I can't have guests in there. So, I mean, I thought that went well. The nurse I was working with, she was on it. Girl, I twitched. She was like, are you okay? Are you in pain? Like, do you need me to give you something? Like, that was fine. They were monitoring me the whole time. Not a bad experience at all. Then I come upstairs and they're like, oh, well, the way they did this was wrong. The way they did the pulse, not the pulse, maybe the little sticks they put on you where I think they track your cardiac activity. I don't know, child. But they were saying that was wrong, that I didn't get a binder, and they don't do binders up here. And then the pain medication that worked the best for me downstairs, they don't do up here. It's just a whole lot of like, no one's on the same page. No one's on the same page. People are asking me, oh, did they give you a box for this? Or did they give you the very frustrating. Very frustrating. People were asking me what I had done and stuff. I'm just like, don't y'all have my information? Like, I'm so confused. And like I said, I don't do this. I've never been to a hospital, never had surgery. Well, not I've never been to a hospital. I've never been to a hospital in this capacity. So I don't know if this is normal or not. But yeah, so once again, one of the factors into why I decided to do it for the abdominal incision was so that I could stay at the hospital for at least 3 or 4 days. Now I'm being told that per my surgeon, I have to go home tomorrow, and that I will not be receiving liquid narcotics. I can only take home pills. Now, when they said that, I assumed they just didn't prescribe liquid narcotics for the home. And so the nurse came in and I asked her again, like, so what exactly is the deal? And she was like, no, the doctor said that you cannot take liquid narcotics. At this point, it's like, are you punishing me because I didn't want to do the robotic laparoscopy, whatever it's called, hysterectomy? I'm so fucking irritated. Because at this point, it's giving you're not even really looking out for my best interest. If I've been communicating with you guys every step of the way with every doctor on the way that I struggle to take pills, they told me to take it with food, like pudding, applesauce, whatever. They're like, just get it down however way you can. My thing is, I'm very sensitive. My gag reflex is very sensitive, and I'm not about to be throwing up with this incision that they glued. I was told that it was glue. The nurse came in, she was like, glue? Is that what they're doing now? Like, why did they do that? Everyone is asking me why someone did something about something, as I don't understand what is going on. So far, this has not been the best experience. But I asked them if I could request a binder. Apparently that's something that they had to do downstairs, so I won't get one tonight. They said they might be able to come in and give it to me tomorrow. But no, I think what really set me off was like the doctor refusing to give me liquid narcotics, and that I have to go in tomorrow. Like, what is the problem? What is the problem? Mind you, this wasn't even the doctor I was supposed to be with originally. The doctor they first recommended me to, I ended up not going that direction because at the time that they weighed me, my BMI was under her limit. The next time that they weighed me, I think I was wearing like heavy clothes or something. It was like one number higher than what she would allow or what she could do. I don't know. So I was like, well, if my clothes is the biggest difference as to whether or not I get the surgery or not, like that's worrisome to me, because does that mean that I could potentially die at your hands because I had a burger? Like, that 2 pounds made a difference to the point where you could do surgery one day and not the other day. And so I said, let me go to the other doctor, and they recommended her because they said she does a variety of bodies. So I said, that wasn't the first choice that they recommended, but I'm going to go with the person that is most likely to be familiar with surgery on fat bodies. And that's how we came here. And, even from the first meeting, our first appointment, because, mind you, I've been poked and prodded and going through procedures and biopsies and all these things since I first started with my original gyno office. Out of all the different people that have touched me, she was the roughest. And immediately I was like, that's not a great sign. But I let it go because maybe I'm doing too much. And besides, the other person that they recommended, I was teetering on the acceptable BMI. So I said, whatever, I'm going to just stick with this person. But like, it's literally going downhill, and it's really freaking pissing me off. And for her to gaslight me, it's upsetting me and my homegirls. Talking about, oh, we had this discussion. No, we did not. We did not talk about a potential vertical incision. And now all of a sudden my uterus is big. You never told me that. Those are never your words. And I was telling Kim, I was like, she's talking all this, like we had this extensive conversation, all these appointments. I was like, Kim could have came in with my name and should have been like, oh, great to see you again. You don't remember. I'm not faulting you for that, but doctors get the least amount of face time. You don't remember. You're scrambling to the computer to see what it said about my uterus. Right. So why are you trying to gaslight me? And you bring all this negativity in for something that can't be changed. But like I said, it's really the whole narcotics thing that's really sending me over a cliff. Like, it is sending me. You trying to make me go home the next day is sending me. Like, I just did a lap around the floor, already in pain. You're sending me to go home where? For what? Am I at your house that you can't accommodate me? And you're taking your bedroom? Anyways, I don't know if I'm gonna post this. I just need to vent. But I keep focusing on the fact that at least it's done. At least the organs are out. How am I supposed to manage pain from a surgery that I had 2 days ago with pills that I can't take, and that's it? Very ghetto. Yeah, so that was the first that I experienced in that situation. Like, it was just terrible. And then someone came to me after. I don't remember who it was. Maybe a coordinator. I don't know. Someone came to me after and asked me, like, how are you doing? And I told her, like, it's terrible. What the hell, Leonte, is going on? Like, why would y'all have this woman come in here and stress me out? Mind you, stress me out for no reason, because you did all that berating, all that shaming to make me feel like trash. And then as soon as I said, okay, fine, maybe I should concede. Well, you can't change it anyways. So why are you raising my blood pressure before surgery? Why are you scaring me? Why are you low-key threatening me with a vertical incision? For like, what is the point of that if you cannot change it anyways? It would make sense if you were trying to scare me into making a decision that you wanted to do. Maybe it's easier for you to do robotic. Maybe you have a tight schedule and you're just trying to get in and out. I don't know what it was. Maybe you didn't feel like putting your hands in it. You don't want to get your hands dirty. I don't know what it was, but it would make sense for you to treat me. Actually, nothing would make sense for you to treat me like that, period. But at least logically, I'd be like, oh, she did this because she wanted me to change my mind. So when I'm getting ready to change my mind, now you're telling me I can't change my mind. So why are you doing this? And I feel like I'm like glazing over it, but she was really going in on me, yo. Like, and so I told her, I was like, I did not like my experience with the surgeon. I didn't like how she spoke to me, how she treated me. I don't like how she scared me. It was to the point when they rolled me into the ER, I was crying. I was crying and asking them, hey, can you get her on the phone? Like, tell her I changed my mind. That's crazy. Because why are you making me go through that? When I think back on it, like, I was already stressed about it in a moment, but thinking back about it, I'm like, that is insane. To berate me so much to the point where they're rolling me into the ER and I'm crying because I'm scared. You're scaring me for what? They were like, well, you know, well, sometimes, like, essentially she was alluding to like, oh, you know, sometimes doctors don't realize how much their words affect people because they're not told that. Those weren't the words exactly, but it was basically insinuating like, oh, well, maybe you should say something because clearly she don't hear it enough. So I said, say less, report. Because if someone in your own department is alluding to that, that means you do that on a regular and you don't face enough consequences. And the fact that they're just like, you know, well, you could absolutely, you could, that's crazy and absolutely right. I should, I could, I would, and did. Because that means it's not on your record that you treat people like this, that you have a problem. That's insane to me. Y'all, that was the first hot mess of the story. So after that situation, they asked me if I wanted to be treated or if I wanted my care taken over by another doctor. And being as this woman has already shown me she don't really care about me aside from a number, a folder, a case, I said, let me just move on to somebody else. Child, that was another stressor in and of itself. Not because of the doctor. It wasn't him particularly, but it was just the situation as a whole. So y'all remember when I said I used to overdose on ibuprofen, right? Yeah. I don't know if it's because it's my size, if it's something about how my kidneys, my liver, my organs filter through things, but like a lot of things don't work for me. Tylenol does nothing for me. I could pop 18 pills. It's like I'm eating sugar pills or drink Tylenol liquid. It does nothing for me. Ibuprofen was the only thing that helped with pain management, and even then I had to overdose. And when I tell you every 4 hours on the dot, I was taking like, if 200 milligrams is one serving, I think I was doing like 5 every 4 hours, completely ruining my stomach lining. I don't know how I didn't develop an ulcer. Like, I was overdosing on ibuprofen for so long just to like take away the edge of the pain. Mind you, it never really eliminated my cramp. It just took the edge off. And apparently that it carries out into narcotics too. Baby, they gave me Oxy. I was like, what is this? Why y'all giving me candy? Take this mint out my face. The only thing that really worked for me for real was Dilaudid, and that's not something that they keep giving you. Okay, mind you, it worked. It didn't completely eliminate once again, but out of everything that they gave me, that worked the best. Child, it was a struggle because I said, y'all so worried about me getting addicted. How can I get addicted if I don't feel anything? You know, people are like, oh, like Oxy makes them do this, Oxy makes them feel like this. And I'm just like, baby, I didn't even feel, I felt nothing. No pain relief, no woozy. I felt nothing. And I'm just like, baby, I don't know what it is about my body that does not let me feel the effects of these drugs, but it really does not. And so that was a struggle because they were constantly worried about overprescribing, which valid. I understand that's an issue. Addiction is very much so an issue, but also I'm dying. I'm in pain. And I feel like there are certain demographics of people where they are expected to tolerate more pain than others. There are certain demographics of people where their pain, their issues are not taken seriously, are not believed. They're seen as extra, they're seen as dramatic, they're seen as hysterical, right? And so I'm telling you, I'm having these issues, and you keep telling me, well, take an ibuprofen, take this, take that. And finally it got so bad Mind you, this is all in the hospital till I get home. Things got so bad. I'm at home. I'm calling them like, yo, this is not working. I'm in pain. By then, I had started developing these spasms. Yay. It felt like it was starting in my intestines, and then it will build up strength and then get to the rectum, and right when it gets to the tip, the lips up, it felt like someone was taking their hand, digging their claws into the inside of my booty hole, snatching it and twisting it and holding on for dear life. You know when you see an angry mother snatch up her kid and she's like, get your... That's what it felt like inside my booty hole. And then it was happening like it was contractions. I said, baby, is my booty hole pregnant? I know you took out my uterus. Did you put it in my asshole? Because I'm very confused as to why I took out an organ to prevent pregnancy, and then y'all made my booty hole pregnancy, and now it's going in labor. I'm very confused as to why that's happening. And so I'm calling like, yo, I am in pain. And they're just like, oh, well, that's not normal. Oh, well, maybe you should go to the hospital. Mind you, the oxy that I was taking causes constipation. So I thought that the booty spasms were because of constipation, but I couldn't make myself go. Y'all, by then, the next rotation had started. Dina was with me at that time. Hey, yo, when I tell y'all, there is no part of my body that my friends haven't seen. I didn't see anyone say anything about booty spasms as a side effect of hysterectomy surgery. Like, where is this coming from? So we're like, okay, it must be from a side effect of the medication. We got so desperate. It got to the point, y'all, my friend was putting oil in my booty hole, trying to release constipation. Yay. To no avail, no relief. The spasms were taking me out, literally, y'all. Like, I would feel it coming and it would build up, and I would brace myself and it would hit me and I'd be like, and I had to breathe through it, like my body would get taut with pain. Like, I don't think, oh God. It was a nightmare, y'all. Like, literally snatching up my booty hole from the inside, and I'd be like, ooh, trying to like brace myself to breathe through it, and it was terrible. So by the time the paramedics come, they're just like, well, first of all, if you're trying to clear yourself out, that's not the right laxative to use. And she was giving recommendations for that. And then she was like, second of all, if we go to the ER right now, you're gonna be sitting there for hours before anyone can see you. And she was like, and honestly, I don't recommend that hospital to begin with. And I said, you know what, I didn't have a great experience there anyways. Let's try the hospital that you think is better suited. So we ended up going in a different hospital, and I will say that the ER doctor that I met there, I could kiss him in the mouth. He was my saving grace. Okay, so no one really knows what's happening, why the pain is happening, but I'm describing to him what I'm going through, and he's trying to figure out like, okay, this is happening, the muscle this and that. And then he was like, okay, like, well, this sounds like it's similar to like something that happens with the heart. Was it the heart? Something. I moved with the medication. I'm gonna go and look for it to see if I can get the details for you guys. But he's over here calculating like, okay, well, if this sounds like something that happens in this part of the body, so if we take that medication and then we compound it and make it into a cream, girl, he's literally doing basically has his heart medication sent to the pharmacy, comes back in cream form, has me bent over, tooted up, and he inserts the cream into my rectum. Baby, I couldn't appreciate it in the moment. Jemima, relax. Grow up. But like, real talk, I couldn't appreciate it in the moment. But I mean, despite the pain I was in, it was a fairly seamless application, right? And I didn't realize how much I should have appreciated it until nurses tried to take over that application going further. It didn't completely eliminate, but it greatly reduced the amount that I was having, as well as the severity of the spasms. And so when they started building up again, I said, oh, Miss Nurse, I need that good. I need that cream again. And then when she did it, oh, it was so painful. I was like, girl, you are, first of all, you're stabbing me with your nails. Your angle is incorrect. Girl, like you know, like, oh, like I'm already in pain. You don't have to also sodomize me, please. Like you are impaling me with your hand, like, please. And then I sat back and I said, I didn't have any of these issues with Dr. ER, okay? Dr. ER came in one fell swoop, did what he had to do, and that was it. And I said, you know what? He has a very happy woman at home or a happy partner. I said, whoever he got at home is happy because he went in there, got right to it, and was in and out and did it like no pain, no nothing. I said, oh, in the moment I couldn't appreciate it, but that is a skillful man. But also, like, is he single? Cause like, you know what you're doing, you know? But yeah, once the nurses took that role over, it was a hot mess. So I was like, no, go get Dr. ER for me, because y'all not doing what y'all need to do. And it's not giving what they're supposed to give, okay? Lord. Anyways, they do a scanning image and they see that I have an abscess at the base of my cuff. And so now I'm like, what the heliante do you mean I have an abscess? Like, did something happen during surgery that could have caused it? Like, was she in there angry cutting me, angry snipping me, and something happened and now I have an abscess? Like, I don't know what caused the abscess. No one can really say for sure. So they started treating me with IV, and that was a hot mess. But I will say I also encountered another doctor who came in after Dr. ER came and left. Another doctor came in, a resident doctor, I believe. I felt very seen by her. I felt like she listened to me. She was also kinfolk, which I loved. Potentially that played a part into why I feel like she was actually listening to what I was saying. Unfortunately, she was not there all of the time, and she was in rotation with another doctor. Oh, I need a nickname for this doctor. I'm gonna call her Dr. Pooh. I'm gonna call her Dr. Pooh, cause she won shit, right? And my experience with this doctor was not good at all. So they had started me on antibiotic treatment via IV, and throughout the entire journey, one thing I've made very clear to every single health professional that I've encountered throughout any experience of anything in any life is that I don't drink pills. I struggle with pills. It's at this point, it's a personality trait. It's a character trait. It's part of me. Oh, hey, I'm Jemima. I also don't drink pills. I'm black. I'm a woman. I don't drink pills. Do you see what I'm saying here? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? It's a part of me. And in a medical setting, that is very much information that they need to know. So I've been upfront and clear about what I can and cannot handle from jump. And despite that, this Dr. Pooh did not give not one, not two, not three, not four fucks. She didn't give any about my personal situation. When I tell you, I can just tell she didn't care. And it wasn't that she was like cursing me out. She's yelling at me like the first original surgeon was. She didn't berate me with a loud voice, but the way she spoke to me was very like condescending. For one, she lied straight up to me, and she just would manipulate the words to scare me. And I realized that that was a trending factor throughout this whole thing, was like this tactic of like trying to scare patients into doing what they want. And not because that's what's best for us, but because it's what's best for them. It's what's easiest for them. Because why else are you mad that I'm having abdominal surgery? Because you don't want to do it. You want to do something else. Is it your body or mine? And now this Dr. Pooh is literally going out of her way to say that if you don't do this, this, and this, your infection's gonna spread and you're gonna die of sepsis. Ma'am, I told you I can't drink pills, okay? So if you guys are starting me on IV, the IV is working. Can I not continue on IV? Now I understand hospital protocol is to start them on IV, ease them into pills or whatever medication so that they can continue it at home. But they start in the hospital so they can engage it, make sure it's working, and then take them home. I understand that 100%. I understand that. I'm not stupid. I get that. But also, I can't take pills right now. Well, not ever really, but everyone thinks that, oh, just cut up the pills and put applesauce so you can take it. I still taste it. It makes me gag. It makes me throw up. I have an open incision in my stomach. So you want me to throw up? One, I won't be ingesting medication, the antibiotics that you say I desperately need, or else I'll go into sepsis and die, and I'll have a colostomy bag. And I knew I wasn't tripping when the next time she came to have it, because we had called her, said, we want to talk, come to the room so we can discuss what the hell you told me on the phone. As soon as I told her, hey, like, I would like to record the conversation, she switched up. I said, oh, the mistake I made was in letting her know I wanted to record the conversation. And of course, isn't it illegal to record somebody against their will? I don't know, but I felt like, you know, I want her to know I'm recording this out of the consideration, which is crazy, because was she ever considered to me? No. But I knew I wasn't tripping when she switched up. Then she started backtracking to say, oh, well, no, I didn't say this. Well, no, I'm just saying that, you know, there's a chance that you can get sepsis. There's a chance that, you know, the infection can spread. Oh, well, this is preventative and this and this and this. That's not what you said yesterday. You said, no, you have to drink these pills. You can only drink it. They only have pills. Those are the only options. You can't do IV. You can't do this. There are no liquids. You have to drink these pills, or else your infection is going to spread. You're going to get sepsis and you're going to have a colostomy bag. Once again, trying to scare me into doing something that you want. Just because you don't want to do the work to go look for the medication. I said, can we just look at other options? Can we explore other options? Is money the issue? I got it. What do you need to make this happen? Whatever it costs, I will pay. This is my health. Like you said, I want to make sure I don't go into sepsis and die. Like, this is my, like, what is it? But that lady did not care. You look at somebody in the bed, all you see is a fat black woman with a bonnet on, and you don't give a fuck about what she's saying. Not to mention the internal biases that you have. You literally did not care, and I know that you didn't. It wasn't until we, by that time, Dina had left, her sister Jenny came. So Jenny was with me during this time. We ended up calling a doctor friend that we have, and she was on the phone, and once again, she's backtracking because you're talking to us and telling us something like it's fact. And because you're the medical professional, what can we say to refute that? If you tell me that, no, this medication only comes in pills, what am I, what can I say? I don't know if you're lying or not. I'm going to believe you because you're the medical professional. But my friend who's a doctor is like, no, I know for a fact that this comes in liquid suspension or liquid or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, well, I can ask this department and I can check. Literally, that was all I spent the past 2 days asking you to do was check. And you literally said, no, it didn't exist. It was impossible because you didn't want to go look. You didn't want to take the time to go sit at a desk and click for 36 seconds to look it up. You crazy. Oh my God, y'all, the rage I felt, the anxiety, the stress, the fear. Mind you, my mother died from sepsis. Ooh, hold on. Okay. Like I said, I did record that conversation, and so let me go back and watch the footage so that I can make sure I'm getting my facts correct. And the way, oh my God, oh, I was going through it for real. I was, oh, I'm getting emotional again. Jesus. Oh, it's crazy, but it was actually a terrible experience to go through. Okay, sorry. What was your question again, please? Sorry.
Oh, I was just asking how your night was, how you're doing.
Oh, I mean, my night was terrible. Yesterday was terrible. Yeah, I mean, I told you about my attempt the first time I tried to take the pill with me throwing back. I'm not sorry, throwing up, almost throwing up. I wasn't able to complete the full dosage. So when the nurse brought the next dosage around, I tried to cut it in the pill cutter, and it wouldn't even fit in the pill cutter. So I kind of sent me for a tailspin because I've never even had to try to cut a pill that big. Yeah, so just from our conversation yesterday and hearing that if I don't take this medication, the whole my bowels dying and then me having a poop bag, It just...
So the thing is, so that's the issue is if you don't take the medicine, you're more at risk for increased sepsis, like risk for sepsis. And sepsis means that there's an active infection that can cause you to have, your organs shut down. And with sepsis, one of the things that can happen is your bowels can die. And that is a really big surgery where they have to remove part of your bowel and then go in and most people, when they remove part of their bowel, they need a colostomy bag.
Right.
So that's just the worst scenario that can happen. I'm not saying that it's going to 100% happen if you don't take them, but I'm saying that is the worst case scenario is you go into septic shock, you get back readmitted, and we have to take you back for emergent surgery.
Right.
Right.
My thing with that is knowing my struggle the entire time I've been here. In my detailing my struggle with pills my entire life. Like, this is not something I chose. It's not something I do for fun. It's not like, oh, I don't feel like taking it. I feel like no one is taking what I'm saying seriously. And for me to have a fresh incision and to be worrying about throwing up multiple times a day to try and take down this medication, and then I'm wondering if I'm already telling you that I'm going to throw up, are you going to overprescribe the medication so I can attempt multiple times to take the dosage? Or
so no, because we don't want you to take more than you need, because the other thing, there's pros and cons of antibiotics. Okay? So the antibiotics you're prescribing you, one of them is a big gun antibiotic, which means that's the last resort we have for some people. And if you are resistant to that medication, then there's nothing more we can give you if you get any kind of infections, which is why I don't want you to take more, because if you take more than needed, you get antibiotic resistance, and that is a major issue in the States, okay? That's a major issue anywhere, is that these bugs we're growing are super bugs. So that's the issue with, no, I do not want to prescribe you more than needed, because the ID doctors, the infectious disease doctors are the one who told us to prescribe you this amount. So this is the amount that they have recommended.
Okay.
And we go by what they say because they are the ones dealing with superbugs and infections.
So if they prescribe this amount and I can't take it all, do I not still end up back in sepsis with?
So that's not necessarily going to happen. There's an increased risk, so I want you to do your best to take all the medicines. Your white count this morning went down, so it's normal now, which means your white count is like the amount that's in your white blood cells in your body reacting to inflammation and infection. That's at a normal level now, which is saying that the IV antibiotics you were getting, that at least the one dose that you got yesterday that you're able to tolerate, is doing its job at keeping everything down, like keeping your infection at bay.
May I ask how much did it go down between the day before?
12 to 9. So more than 11 is abnormal.
My question is, if it went down 15 to 12 the first night using liquid antibiotics, for it to go down, to continue going down on a liquid IV, I wouldn't need 14 days of the liquid, not liquid IV, sorry, IV medication, as opposed to 14 days, which we know will not happen.
Right, the IV medication is more systemically absorbed. The IV medication helps it's quicker acting. People on IV medications usually don't need to be on it for 14 days, but we cannot have you stay here with an IV in place. It's not medically indicated you're stable enough for you not to have an IV anymore. The IV medication also, it has its risks as well. And with the oral medication, you're swallowing it. It has to go through your liver, your gut. That's why you have to have them longer.
I understand that, but what I'm saying with the current circumstances, I mean, if we know for a fact that 2 more days could bring it down to, I don't know, 3, as opposed to, who knows how many days so far, 0 of the oral, then how is the risk of sepsis still not justifying 2 more days or even 3 of IV?
Because you're not in sepsis anymore. Your infection is controlled with the medications we're giving them now.
But it's not by mouth. I haven't successfully completed a dosage by mouth.
We're not going to give you more IV antibiotics because it's not indicated. Like, the IV antibiotics are when you're very, very sick.
Yeah, she'd like to interject. Sorry, we have our friend.
Hi, okay. Hi, Dr. Hi, Dr. Zhang.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, at this point, since her white count is back to normal, what is the indication for the continued antibiotic therapy? Is it more so for preventative measure, prophylactic, or
So it's more, yes, you're right, it's more for preventative, and it's to help. So usually we think she has an abscess. near her cuff, so her vaginal cuff. So usually when that happens is that the IV antibiotics will help control it, but with 14 days, the reason why we prescribe longer is so that it prevents a recurrence of an infection and also prevents like increased infection. So right now everything is, it's when you came in, you were in sepsis. You were not in shock, but you had like an elevated white blood cell count, your heart rate was elevated. That's your body's sign of telling you, hey, there's a major infection going on. So all that is resolved now, but that doesn't mean the infection is 100% cleared.
Okay.
So sometimes there's an infection, but you don't feel anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's to fully heal everything throughout the whole course.
What are the two antibiotics that?
So one is Augmentin, and one is linezolid.
Okay. So if she's having too much difficulty with the oral, and I guess she's tried it on multiple occasions and it's just not working for her, is it not feasible to switch her to a different formulation?
So
Can she do outpatient infusion?
So there really isn't outpatient infusion for linezolid, but like Augmentin and linezolid are things that you can take out, like PO. Like you won't need to go and get infusion. Infusion will be for like vancomycin or.
What I'm saying is, because she has an aversion to swelling, and she tried it last night, it didn't work.
She tried it every time, it didn't work.
So
My whole life,
can't we just switch
only.
her to a different method of getting the antibiotic in her if we're afraid that she still has a possible abscess?
I mean, I can ask the ID doctors what they recommend as another alternative, but this is their first line regimen, which means first line as in
Right.
I would be more than I know it's more than possible to switch to a formulation within that same antibiotic class that would give her the same amount of coverage.
But the thing is that there's just limited, there's limited medicines that can be given outpatient through infusion. So I need to make sure with them that this is something that can be set up, and outpatient infusion sometimes takes weeks for her to get an appointment to go. It does, you have to get a prior authorization, you have to do a lot of other, so what I'm saying is that I don't know if she's going to be able to be off antibiotics for several days for her to get an outpatient infusion. But I can double check with them to see if there's something that's.
I think what we're trying to say is
let's just look at all the solutions.
We need to look at that solution.
Because I feel like no one's taking what I'm saying seriously.
Yes.
No, I've been calm for too long. I'm sick of this shit.
First CT, I guess she had it done while she was at the ER.
Yes.
And which was, I guess, the first time that they saw whatever they saw that was a possible abscess, correct?
Correct.
Could she have a repeat CT at this time, maybe before discharge?
So we're planning to do a repeat CT. Our recommendation is after she completes her therapy of 14 days.
After she completes the antibiotic therapy?
Yes.
So I think there is a problem with that, because what we would like to do before leaving here, let's say you guys discharge her today, and this is just a suggestion, I'm not saying you guys are.
We are.
Okay, so let's say she leaves today. I'm hard pressed to believe that we walk in with, this abscess, and you said yourself that the white blood cells count have gone down. This is me, again, I'm not a doctor, so this is just me putting two and two together. We're assuming also that whatever the abscess is has been controlled or either has drained on its own. Again, I'm putting everything in quotation because I don't want you to, or reduced in size. I think before we walk out of here, it's within our rights to ask, to say, hey, we would like to take a look at this again before going through 2 weeks of whatever this is.
Right. So what I can tell you is that your abscess is not going to be much changed from what you had already.
But I don't think that's something we can assume.
It's going to take days. Yeah.
But
no, we can consider it. Yeah. We can
I don't think it's a consideration at this point. I think it's a request.
Yeah. We can. Yeah. So there's also, the other thing is there's also risks and benefits to repeat imaging as well. I just want you to be aware that not everything we do in the hospital is benign. Everything has its risks. Okay, so with this, you're gonna have to drink some kind of oral contrast so that we can see, like you probably did that before in the emergency room.
No, they just put in my IV.
Yeah, so we can try that. Yeah, that's fine too. But
why do I feel like I'm only hearing about the drinking pills part when there are other options here?
Well, the other options
so you didn't know
are not
those
the first line, so that means that.
But there are other lines, is what I'm saying.
But
for people that have issues with the first, there's a second and third that we can consider.
But But the thing is that the medicine, we are going by what is recommended as the gold standard from the infectious disease doctors.
I completely understand
so that's
that.
why we're telling you this, because they're telling us this is the best course
I
to treat you
understand that.
at this point.
I understand exactly what you're saying. Believe me, I'm not being obtuse. I'm not being a nuisance. I promise you, if I could follow everything to the T, trust me, this is my body. I have plans to be healthy and walking around. So if I'm here, it's not by choice. I can't stand needles. They have to stab me with IVs. Can't even do their job and find the vein. I know I'm not asking for some downtime. So when I'm saying I need another option, I really need another option, and I need you to hear what I'm saying. But you don't know my experience in medical settings.
And I know that, and I'm telling you that
because I'm telling you to hear me.
I'm also trying.
Because I'm still trying to tell you, and you're still not even letting me finish what I'm saying. I ended up reporting her too, and I remember I called and a lady was essentially saying like, what are you looking to happen here? And I said, damn bitch, I don't know. You tell me. Like, I don't know. Fix her. And it was another layer of frustration, because when I get upset, when I get frustrated, when I'm scared, when I'm anxious, my automatic response is to cry. Right? Literally against my will, against my control. No matter what I do, I cannot stop the tears from falling. And so my doctor friends tell me like, hey, like, you know, tears don't move them. Mind you, I'm not even crying because I'm trying to move you. I'm crying because I'm frustrated. I'm angry because you're literally gaslighting me, and then you're lying about it to my face back at me. And then when my doctor friend is refuting you, you're just like, oh, yeah, well, okay, well, I can ask this and this, as if you couldn't just have said that, but you didn't want to do it because you didn't want to do the work, despite the fact that you're telling me that I can get sepsis and die, but you don't care about that for real. You just want me to do whatever's easiest for you. Oh, it was a nightmare experience. It really was.
Okay, so I know for a fact, because I prescribed it, right, to children, and so maybe at this point we have to consider this patient and treat her with kid gloves. We can prescribe her a liquid suspension, at least for the augmented.
Yes, at least for the augmented, correct.
What? What the fuck? Let's not act like, you know, there hasn't been a calculated push by many people in the industry to end my career in the last year and a half.
No, I don't know the equivalent for the linazolid, but I'm
The reason why,
they can find one.
yeah, so the linazolid, I'm not completely sure if I know that Augmentin, the one that she's on, we don't carry the in formulary for the suspension kind, and I don't.
So we can prescribe it at a pharmacy and pick it up.
Yes,
right?
I would do that for her.
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
The linazolid, I don't think it comes in to my knowledge, I don't believe it comes in anything liquid form, but I will ask the ID doctors.
So when we had this conversation yesterday, it sounds like there is possibility. So you did not want to do the work to find these choices for me?
We don't have, no. We don't have the regimen for you in the hospital. So that's why I told you yesterday, when you're in the hospital, we have to crush it up and put it in food or something so that you don't taste it.
Okay, so Mima, they are going to find the alternative oral options, whether it be a suspension solution, whether they need to consider a PICC line and outpatient infusion therapy, and they're going to get back to us later today before discharge, correct?
Yes.
All right.
And
that's the course of action. All right.
And also, I'm so sorry, but I have to go to surgery at 7:25, so I just need to just.
No worries, and we would definitely like to request again.
Yeah.
And we understand there are risks.
We will be back.
Yes.
No, yeah.
We would like to see our option for the CT scan. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
But
How are you feeling?
Okay, just.
I'm pissed.
I understand.
I understand too.
And you are within your rights to.
I really want you to please stop saying that, because you don't understand.
Okay, I'll let you give you your space, and then we'll be back. Okay.
But yeah, I had drafted a letter. I wonder if I still have it. Did I email it or mail it? Yeah, I don't know if I still have the letter here, But it was a hot mess, y'all. It was a hot mess. Yeah, I'd gotten a new laptop, so yeah, I don't know if I still have it, but what ended up happening, I think one I was able to get something for in liquid. The other one I had to get turned into a compound at a pharmacy, and one of the nurses was the one that told me about it. She was like, you know, when you get the prescription, go to the pharmacy and they will turn it into a liquid suspension for you. So I did that, and that's how I was able to finish the antibiotic treatment. But I was like, yo, like, I understand what you're saying to me, but I'm telling you that I cannot drink pills. I cannot take pills. So take that off the table. What are the next options? Because if I had no mouth, what would be the next course of action? You keep telling me, do this, do this, do this, and I'm telling you I can't do this, and you're still ignoring me. And it's pissing me off. Oh my God. I was so enraged. I was so enraged. And then I was getting so much anxiety. And at the time, I guess I didn't really realize that it was like anxiety. I was just like, oh, y'all stressing me out. Like, you know, y'all doing too much. I was getting these like hitches. Like I couldn't even breathe. And it went on for like maybe a week and a half. It went on for a little while where I literally would be like, like I couldn't breathe. And like watching back those clips, I'm just like, yo, these people were stressing me out, bro. Stressing me out. And I'm in pain, medication, barely doing nothing. I couldn't even wipe myself after I used the bathroom. Child, my friend is white. Like, when I tell y'all the trenches, and I will forever be grateful for my friends, because when I tell y'all, first of all, the fact that they even created a rotation to come and visit me and take care of me, because I didn't ask them to do that. They basically called me and said like, hey, we have a schedule set up, so we'll see you from this time to this time. I think it was 6 weeks, 4 weeks or 6 weeks that they had made plans. Some people doubled back. Like, they really looked out for me. When I say friends are chosen family, friends are chosen family, okay? And so I can't settle for a lackluster friendship. I can't settle for nothing less. When you've experienced real friends, you can't just accept any kind of riffraff. You can't. You cannot. When you've experienced the love of a friend, you cannot accept anything less. My word. But one thing about this entire experience, I knew that I was committed to this hysterectomy when, even through all of that BS, through all those issues, through all the pain, through all the back and forth, through all the anxiety, through everything, I never once said that I regret having this procedure. Throughout all of the stress of it all, I never once thought like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have done this. You know how down bad you have to be like, you know what? Fuck. Okay, well, I'll die again tomorrow. Well, at least I had it though. That's actually kind of crazy. Now, I will say that there are some side effects for me since the surgery. Like I said, this happened back in 2024, February 2024. So it hasn't been too long ago, but the biggest one for me was feeling my intestines, because we don't realize our bodies do so much all of the time. So our brains literally have to mute all of that so that we can function without going crazy, without being overstimulated. Can you imagine? Like, our noses literally block our view, but our brain teaches us to not see it. It's literally in the corner of everything that we see, but our brain teaches us to not see it. And so when your brain is used to you feeling your intestines in a certain place, when they're in a new position because they done shifted down, it's a new feeling, right? And it was odd, but in a way, the new feelings in my body made me feel more in tune, more in touch. I felt like I knew myself more. Like if I needed a bowel movement, like I can feel the sensation of movements, like slowly but surely making its way down, and not in like a gross creepy way, but kind of just like, oh, I'm gonna use the bathroom soon. And something about that makes me feel like I know a secret about myself that nobody else knows about themselves. And I will say that in a weird way, it was a beautiful thing to experience, you know? Like, I just felt like, oh my God, like I'm finally like being in one accord with my body. I'm starting to feel like we're on the same page. Because before, I felt like my body was attacking me all the time. Like, you, girl, did I steal your man? Why are you always fighting me? Damn. And so it felt like we were finally starting to get along a little bit, you know? Also, when they get rid of your cervix, that's what stops the cooter. Like, you know, this the cooter. This right here at the very tip, cervix. Once they take that out, they close the cooter by closing the skin and doing a little nip and tuck. So technically the back of your cooch is brand new. Okay, now for me, because of the abscess, my healing time went from 6 weeks to 9 weeks. It took me longer than that for me to have sex comfortably. They said 9 weeks. I said, y'all tripping. Okay, baby, give me 9 months. Now, that's also as a person who is always in pain, who I just feel like my body just she don't do pain well, okay? So that being said, give yourself some grace, give yourself some time. Some people are able to hop back into it just fine. For me personally, that was not the case. But also I had no man, so I mean, whatever. Over time, that sensation does decrease. So now I really only feel when I'm dehydrated. Dehydration for me low-key feels like the beginning stages of cramping. And it's very weird because what exactly feels like a cramp? I can't explain it, but like if I'm really dehydrated, I can tell because I feel off, right? And once I drink water and I drink my electrolytes and I'm really like pumping myself with fluids, I'm okay. I don't feel like I'm about to start cramping again. Very weird. I don't know what that's about, but that is a thing. Now, before I had the surgery, like after I made the decision, everything was scheduled and I knew it was going to happen for sure, like it was locked in, going to happen. I did have a couple weeks where I really took the time to grieve the possibilities that I knew would no longer come, right? So I knew I didn't want children, but it's one thing to say you don't want children. It's another thing to completely eliminate the possibility of you giving birth to your own child completely. And so I really took some time to feel the feels. And I did feel the feels. Did I cry? No, I didn't cry. I shed a tear, a thug tear. I was kind of like, damn, like, I don't really want to be a mother, but I loved the idea of a mini me. And I now have to give up that idea because I will never have a little me running around, whether I'm taking care of that me or not, which is crazy. But that was something that I had to grieve. But other than that, with this surgery, I feel like it is typically a sad thing, right? But it was my choice. And I feel like it brought me so much of my womanhood back. It brought me so much of me back. And I have never in my life loved being a woman, feeling like a woman, like I do right now. When I tell y'all, I hated being a woman before. Like, it was literally a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And then every month, back to back, there were no breaks. Like, there were no breaks. And it was like, now that I finally have gotten rid of this biggest thing, this biggest hindrance that was like impeding me in my life, I like, what is there to hate about being a woman? I love it now. I mean, there are things to hate, mainly men, but that's just hating men. That's not doing being a woman. It's just hating men. But like, I love being a woman now. And I know it sounds crazy, but like literally getting rid of my reproductive system made me love being a woman. I truly cannot say enough that this was the best decision for me. Like I truly, if I had to go back through it all again and relive all of it, I absolutely would 10 times over, so I could still have the quality of life that I have now. I'm so grateful that I took the plunge, and I don't say that lightly because people say that, oh, doctors say no. Well, I'm not here for the saying no completely, but the whole back and forth, the going, you know, the making sure that you take your time to think about it, I absolutely believe in that because it is a very final thing. It is a very final thing. And even with all that, I always said, I also can freely make this decision because I know that I am not married. I don't have a man that I'm considering. But also, I don't want to have a kid just because a man wants one. And I felt deep enough about that I was willing to make that decision. But if you know that you're teetering, you're like, oh, maybe. If you're maybe, then wait. Don't make it. Don't make that decision because you could very well change your mind. But I know that whether I have a man or not, I don't want to be a mother. Not full time. Being a full-time parent is difficult. And that's when you have a partner that's willing and able. Like, my God. It's hard when you have two parents. What am I going to do if he up and leave me? I got this by myself. So log me out the chat. Look, for me, it's just not a thing. But what I love is that because I have removed this thing from my life, I feel like I'm so much more capable of giving more to others, to friends, to family. Like I can take all that love that I would have had for my own offspring and share that with nieces and nephews and godchildren and strangers' children even, you know. But also, even though I don't have kids, I've parented. And I think that was also another factor, is that when you are taking care of sick people, when you are like, I didn't have enough to give for a full-blown child. I don't have it anymore. I already spent all that energy and love. Okay, it's gone. There's nothing left. So while I know that this was absolutely the best decision for me, I still say to tread very carefully. Okay, it is a very final thing. It's not a vasectomy where you can snip and unsnip and then tie, untie. Please. This is not me saying, you know, get her done. But also, if it's on your spirit, think about it, okay? But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I tried to remember as many things as possible. But if there's anything more that you want detail on, let me know down below. But yeah, like I said, no regrets at all. I have never felt more feminine. I have never felt more like a woman. I have never felt more in tune with myself. I have never felt more like me, truly me. And every day I'm so happy that I finally took the plunge, y'all. Like, I really got my life back, and that's crazy. When I tell y'all I'm here to take my life back from any potential anything, like, I want my life back health-wise. I want my life back period-wise. I want my life back from these men. I want my life back from any friends that's not doing what they need to do. I want my life back, everything. I just want my life back. I want my life for me, and I'm standing 10 toes down on it. 10 toes, 10 fingers, 10 everything. I'm putting my whole cooch on that, okay? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Was it something to enjoy? I don't know. Thank y'all for watching the video. Once again, if you have any questions, if you want me to get into any more detail about anything, let me know down below, and I will try to answer either in the comments or maybe make a part 2 depending on how many questions I get. But yeah, y'all, it was a trying experience, but all in all, it was absolutely worth it. And really, the main thing about that was get you some friends that'll help you, some family that'll help you. Make sure you get a binder. A binder was so essential. I ordered some from Amazon. I don't know how people were like, if without a binder holding, like, wrapped around me, I felt like my insides were falling all over the place. Once again, my brain has not gotten used to my intestines being in a different place, so I felt all of it. Like, oh child, having that binder was the only way I was gonna make it through. Man, oh man. I had rented a hospital bed. No one said I needed that either, but with what core strength was I supposed to get up from my regular bed and please, hospital bed. Okay, used a rail, had a friend, and I'll try to get up without using my core. It was a mess, y'all. It was a mess. And that's why I'm so gung-ho on, like, solid core. Well, I was before I quit. Pelvic floor strengthening, all that stuff, child. Whew. I feel like I'm forgetting some more details. What am I forgetting? I was drinking liquid ibuprofen, children's ibuprofen, trying to make it through. It was a mess, y'all, but we got through it, and now I don't bleed. That's a nasty way to say it. But man, ooh, I'm not gonna lie. Looking back at that footage, oh, had me on one, because I was really in the trenches. And even in the footage, I'm like, I'm not even detailing how I'm really feeling. I'm really just glazing over it, but they really had me going through it. They really had me going through it. And if y'all are in the medical industry, and a lot of y'all are trifling, and I'm just gonna say that because a lot of y'all are trifling. Now, it is a high stress environment. People can be annoying. A lot of nurses are overworked and understaffed. all the things. There's so many things going on both sides, but some of y'all are just trash and don't need to be in a service industry, because to be in a service industry, you have to provide service. If you don't naturally have it in you to care about someone, go find an IT job where you're in a basement talking to nobody. You don't belong in service industries. You don't belong in industries where you have to talk to people. You deserve to be locked in a dark basement, okay? Inhaling mold. Go to hell. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Yeah, that's a crazy way to end the video, but I'm emotionally drained, okay? I done cried 14 times already. Okay, toodles. Cause baby, I got no period no more. Baby, I ain't got no period no more. But I almost lost my booty hole, y'all. I almost lost my booty hole because I didn't want a period no more. Oh, it hurt so bad. Those spasms hurt so bad. Oh, and they would build up. So it was like, not only do you have the spasms, but you had the anticipation of knowing the pain was coming. And it would hit me like, oh, spasms really hurt. Like, oh. Let me call Dina. Say, you remember that time you had to put castor oil in my booty hole? Coconut oil? If she'll pick up, that's gonna be embarrassing. That's gonna be embarrassing. Oh, that's rude. And that's what I'm talking about. And sometimes, oh, there she go.
Hello.
Dina.
What's up?
Remember when you had to put coconut oil in my booty hole?
Oh God, what happened? What happened?
Nothing.
You gotta do it again?
No. Not you want to. Oh, I know you want me. I always knew you wanted me. I knew it.
That's why I'm saying you stuck with me for life. You can't get rid of me now.
Oh my God.
We had to do what we had to do, okay?
Baby, the trenches.
Okay? We had to do what we had to do.
Girl, I was looking at the footage of me around that time, and I was like, struggle vlogging. I was like, I was down bad.
You were, friend. You were, but it's okay. Because you ain't there no more.
Okay? It don't got no what? Period.
Okay. Baby, I love
now you can shoot the club up. Shoot the club up. Yeah.
That's still pH balance.
You right. You right.
You ain't shooting no club up.
You right. You right.
If you ain't taking care of yourself, you ain't shooting no club up. Whether or not you get pregnant. Nah.
You right. You right. You ate. You cooking.
Yeah, I know.